gets going back in place.
No, I'm sorry, you're not chairing this. I'm going to go to a supplementary from Dan Bidwell, and then I'm going to go to Barbara Edmonds, and then we're going to come back to you. Sorry.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Point of order. So the point of order is, because it's scrutiny week, committee members are allowed a sustained line of questioning. The member has only had one primary question. She has not had any supplementary questions due to the comments by the minister taking a number of minutes. So therefore, it'd be unfair to the member if she's unable to continue a sustained line of questioning.
I was always going to come back to it, as I said, but
Yeah,
we will.
Mr.
Bidwell is happy to defer his supplementary, and so we'll continue.
So if I may, Mr. Chair, given that the minister took 5 minutes of commentary to answer 30 seconds of, give me 30 seconds on the direct measures.
Was it 5 minutes?
It was.
So
I do just want to be very focused on this. And if the minister could answer the question without, with a little commentary, fine, but not, 5 minutes. Going back to the working for families.
Should we do a deal? Let's do a deal. Shorter questions, shorter answers.
Going back to the working for family, families question, you said you had introduced a small amount of relief from working for families. How much was that?
It varies depending on families, but up to $17 a fortnight. And I would just like to highlight for members that these are additional to the changes that happen as a consequence of the automatic adjustments in law. They're not actually changes that any of the governing parties campaigned on. However, we made a discretionary policy choice that when it comes to the cost of living, those people who are most impacted are those households with low incomes, with high costs due to children and dependents, and that this discretionary choice meant that they were better off than they would otherwise be, and we stand by that choice.
So, Minister, the particular change you're referring to is a change to the abatement thresholds, and you said $17 a fortnight, so about $7 or $8 a week.
On average, but it depends,
Sure,
and
of course
I can certainly furnish an answer which goes through the
I
detail
don't
of
need the
that.
commentary here, thank you. What I need to know is, when does that change kick in from?
I don't have that date to hand. Can someone from the Treasury help out?
So you trumpeted it in your budget.
Yeah, I think from 1 April next year.
Right, so this change of up to $17 a fortnight or $7 a week on average, which varies across families, doesn't kick in until 1 April next year.
Well, that's because of the changes to the way that the changes to the tax system work. I don't think there's anything unusual
There is
about
no
it.
immediate cost of living relief for working for families from this current budget.
Well, every family who is eligible for working for families will continue to receive their working for family payments within their eligibility over the next few months. That will continue to be the case as a top up to their wages and family income. And the rate of that top up will increase as a consequence of the budget's changes.
So, Minister, you were able to do the partial expensing for businesses and what was the other one? The landlord things, the decreases to the amount of interest that landlords paid pretty much straight away, but you're not able to deliver relief for working families until 1 April next year.
Look, I don't accept the inference of the member's question, which is to say that we have ensured that we are making those changes to the Working for Families system so that going forward people will get more than they otherwise would, while still ensuring that they have all of their existing entitlements to those in-work tax credits and other supplements. However, it is also the case that there is a question about when should the investment boost policy apply, and the member is knowledgeable about tax matters and would understand that if we had said we were delaying the introduction of the investment boost policy, a very clear impact would have resulted, Mr. Chair, which is which business in its good mind,
let the minister answer, please. Let the minister answer. Order.
Which business in sound mind would have made an investment now, knowing that they would, if they delayed the investment until later, would get a tax credit for it, but making the investment now wouldn't. And in fact, one of the impacts that we were seeking to have was to boost investment at a time when there is significant investment uncertainty. So I think that was sound decision making.
Well, with
another
respect,
question,
Minister, as you say, I am knowledgeable about tax. And in particular, there was no reason why this change for working for families couldn't have kicked in by, say, 1 October this year. Might have been hard to deliver, but it would have been done. Why the choice to delay it until 1 April next year?
Look, I'd have to go back and review the advice that I received from the Inland Revenue Department on that matter. What we sought to do was address the fact that we were conscious that there were lower and middle income families in need of relief. We sought to do that in a way that was fiscally neutral, and we sought to do that in a way that was achievable within Inland Revenue's operational constraints and within our own legislative constraints. And there was no fiscal decision to delay it. It was simply a matter of when we could operationalise it. But as I say, I'm happy to go back and get the member more information about that timing.
So, Minister, the other thing that seems to have been difficult to operationalise has been the family boost policy. Do you know yet how many families have actually received the full $250 that was promised by the National Party at the election in terms of the family boost?
What the $250 that the member refers to comprises of two.
As well.
If I can just answer the question, Mr. Chair,
please.
Was we looked at two things. One, what would the maximum impact be on a household in terms of the tax relief package that we introduced, which was a combination of bracket changes and increases of family tax credits. And then we looked at what was the maximum amount that someone could receive under the family boost scheme. And we combined that to say that notionally that was the most that someone could receive on a fortnightly basis under our tax plan. And I'm proud of the fact, members, that we delivered all of the elements, every single piece of the policy that informed that modelling. And we ensured that we kept those commitments despite the state of the books left to us by the last government, such that we have delivered on those promises. To the second part of the member's question, in terms of how many families will have met both the criteria for the maximum amount of bracket relief and family tax credit, that combines two pieces of information. First, income-related tax changes, which are individual. Second, household-related tax credit eligibility, which is a household factor. Those are two separate things to combine. Circumstances vary, both in terms of within a year and over a period of time. Then there is the question of
Let's just,
what
the Minister can finish the answer and then we'll
of
give you
what
another
level of
question.
family boost repayment people are eligible, and those two things need to be combined. It is significant that family boost repayments can be claimed up to 4 years after costs are incurred. What that means is that we are not able to be clear about how many people have received the full entitlement until a full 4 years afterwards. We made that choice because we do not want New Zealanders to feel that they've missed out on that entitlement because they didn't have time to file.
So the Minister
Okay, Dr.
seriously-
Russell, we're winding up on your questions
Two
now.
more points. So the Minister seriously accepts that time poor working families will 4 years after the event have kept the receipts that they can claim the family boost.
Well, IRD's advice to us was that by keeping it open in that way, we would make sure that we had maximum uptake.
Okay, so is the Minister proud? Is the Minister proud that so far a maximum of 384 families, instead of 100,000, so a maximum of 384 families have been able to claim the full amount that was promised to them in Budget 24? Are you proud of that, Minister?
Well, as the member is aware, I have been seeking advice from the Inland Revenue Department about what changes we could make to the scheme to ensure that more families are eligible for more under Family Boost. The government has never previously collected the information, the rich data we now have, which gives us a better sense of the connection between people's household income and how much they are spending on early childhood education. What we have uncovered is that those on higher incomes are more likely to be paying higher fees. And in some senses, this will just make sense to members, which is families where children are attending many hours of early childhood education.
Maybe because they're
tend to
going
have
to a
2 full-time
nicer
workers
centre,
and therefore
I
have
don't
higher
know.
household income. Families when one caregiver is at home tend to have lower
Get more money
income
to
and
buy
but also
nicer
lower
shit.
early childhood fees because their children aren't attending ECE for as long. That pattern of fee correlation to household income is very different from what the IRD assumed in their modelling, which has meant that some of the estimates of uptake have turned out to be lower than they had estimated. And so we are looking at what are our options for expanding the reach of that scheme, and Cabinet will come to decisions on that shortly.
Okay, thank you. We've got a
Well, I mean, also on ECE, some of them might be using whānau manaki, which is a low to no cost ECE provider, which is aim is to be an equal provider. If you're going to whānau manaki, you're not likely to be claiming ECE charges because you're paying sweet fuck all.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're going to say Millie's house on Kent Terrace in Wellington, which is a fully private
Yep. Private things.
provider, you'll probably be paying through the nose.
Yeah. I mean, wow, Nikki. Yeah. Surprised. It's like, are we surprised by that data?
And
Yeah.
most of the whānau manaki, a lot of them their locations are literally next to a primary school.
Yep. Yeah. Investment boost is coming. Are you excited as a business owner for investment boost? Are you
I don't
eligible
have
for that?
cash to afford it.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
don't have the liquidity in my business to be able to sit there and pay for it.
oh, well, then why the fuck are we doing investment boost if it's not helping people like you?
I don't know,
Okay,
like
family
cash grab for people who are planning to do capital expenditure.
Oh, okay.
You know, but if you're not planning to do capital expenditure, there's no advantage to it.
What do you mean you don't want to go out and buy a flash new, I don't know, Toyota Corolla?
Can I afford it?
It's like, yeah. So,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we've got all these families that need a bit of help, right? And, she's over here saying, well, tax cut, fix it. Well, no, not really. Look, we've got people who are getting tax cuts now who can't afford a freaking block of butter. Yeah, it's like the tax cut excuse ain't going to work for much longer.
You know, can they also afford a litre of petrol?
I don't know. Can they?
You know, considering a litre, I mean, okay, petrol is starting to come down in price. It's about $2.30 a litre.
Oh, don't worry. It's going to go up again.
$2.30 and $2.50, depending where you buy it from.
It will go up
As I
again.
say, I paid $2.20 something in Upper Hutt on Thursday at the
Yeah.
Gull.
You want to know something? Petrol's going to go up again because Trump did a dumb in Iran.
Yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, exactly. That will spike up the price again. Yeah. Thank you, Trump.
Thanks, Trump. I'm poor. I have a petrol car. I don't have an electric car yet because I don't have enough money to buy one. Thanks, National, because he just made it harder for me to go get an electric car. And Trump's now just made it harder for me to go fill my own car. So I don't have my own car.
Exactly.
Not yet. I borrow my parents' van. But anyways, same story.
But you still need to put petrol in it to sit there and
Yeah,
drive
so
it around
yeah,
because
yeah.
mum and dad don't sit there and have the unlimited fuel card it's either you pay for it or mum and dad's going to pay for the petrol. It's going to be paid for somehow.
Yeah.
It's not like the days of when my Uncle Dears Willis worked for the gas company. And basically, because he was driving the trial CNG car, he didn't have to pay for fuel.
Oh, don't worry. We can extract more gas in the gas fields. Oh, wait. We have to pay for the current cleanup for the gas.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah. Okay.